You're listening to The Peach Pit. I'm here talking with Sebastian from the Niagara Falls trio Ivy Gardens, the doomy, sludgy, punky, stonery, progressive-y, the progressive stoner, doomy, sludgy, punky band from Niagara Falls that I have come to love. Sebastian, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me, and welcome to the pit.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
So you just played Edmonton last night. How did that go?
That was fun. That was a fun little matinee show. But yeah, that was the one of our that was the end of this kind of weekend run because we're on just such a massive kind of coast to coast run. We'll do like 4 shows, then 3 days off, then 4 shows, then 3 days off. So that was the end of our chunk of 4 shows. So now we got a few days to kill. We're freezing in the van here at Banff, and then we're off to Vancouver next weekend. So yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Is that how you guys kind of like to split up your tours? Like give yourselves some days off here and there?
Yeah, a little bit. Like there's only so much you can do on like a Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Like when you leave on like a big long kind of excursion like this, you can do a good show on a Friday and a Saturday, and you can do cool shows on Thursdays and Sundays. But then no matter how you slice it, you still got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to kill somehow. And you can sometimes get a show, but sometimes you just take the days off and just write it out.
So today you're out in Banff, seeing Banff, I'm assuming probably for the first time for most of you.
Yeah, for the first time.
What are you going to do after that? What's the plan for tomorrow and the next day before the show in Kelowna?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, we're just gonna poke around, explore a little, cook some dogs, make some breakfasts, some lunches, just chill. But yeah, just kind of hanging out. We've been on the road for such a long time now. Like we went all the way out east and back to Ontario, and now we're just so close to the west coast. We're so close. We're almost there, and yeah, just kind of hanging out, doing our thing. Kind of just locked into this routine of living in this vehicle that I talk to you within. But yeah, man.
Sorry, I needed to mention, forgot to mention in the intro. So you guys are going to be playing in Kelowna on Thursday, October 23rd at Danenzi's with local support from Suburban Alienation. So everybody listening to this, make sure you go there and check it out because I'm so excited that you guys have finally made the trek all the way to the Okanagan for us.
Yeah, it's
Very
gonna be
cool.
fun.
This is your first time in BC, right? Coming up?
Oh yeah, dude. First time going west out of Ontario. Yeah.
Dang. Cool. So I want to go back. Let's take it back. I need to go back to the origins of the band. So you guys are all originally from Beamsville, right?
Yeah, it's a small little town in the kind of Niagara region. Um, but from the small little town, we've been doing shows around there for like over 10 years at this point. We all kind of, grew up playing our instruments together, learned how to play our instruments together. But only post COVID did we kind of form Ivy Gardens as a real project with a kind of a goal in mind. And we've put out an EP and a record, and our newer record, Death at Don Valley, that's our second kind of major release. And this is maybe the third major tour we've done. Uh, Past couple times we've gone out east, out to like PEI and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. I haven't gone to Newfoundland yet. Eventually we'll go to Newfoundland at some point. That's a little out of the way. But yeah, we've done that route a few times. We've been doing a lot of touring, stuff in Quebec, stuff all around in Ontario. But yeah, for this record, we did all that and we're still hitting it off out west. And yeah, we've been a band for like a really long time. And we've just been kind of gradually working our way up into doing these bigger excursions. So yeah, that's a brief history of the band for you.
What was the first iteration like? I know you guys used to call yourselves Viscosity,
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
right?
You know that? How do
All
you
right.
know
And
that?
so were you playing keyboards back then? Was it just the three of you?
Oh yeah, dude. We started way, way back in the day. The guys tried to get me to play
I got to
bass,
do my
and
research.
way, way back in the day, the guys tried to get me to play bass, and like I don't know how to play bass, but they were like, "Oh, it's easy. You can just play bass." And I didn't really come to it that quickly. I didn't really, learn it that fast. But I was like, I could just do this, which is playing keyboards, playing like at the time it was a beat up like piece of crap Casio generic kind of keyboard, and we just put it through the beat up little guitar amps that we had at the same time, and it made this big kind of distorted, messed up organ sound, and that was it. That was like, okay, I'm gonna do this in this band, and from there we kind of nailed down what that means kind of technically, because I have a pretty specific setup at this point. I'm doing like bass synth, and I'm playing bass lines, and I'm also playing organ and piano, and making some samples and other sounds in my right hand. And Andrew's set up on guitar, and Joe's set up on drums. It's also pretty specific, and kind of gradually over the years we've kind of just honed in on exactly what we need to sound the way we want to sound, and kind of curated this big wall of horribly obsolete and incredibly heavy amps and cabs, and we've just really owned it on the sound after all those years of just doing all kinds of random stuff with all kinds of random cheap stuff that we could find.
Right. So you guys took a break for college, and then during COVID, you came back together and you reformed, and you went under this new name, Ivy Gardens. That's harking back to a street that was by where you used to jam.
Yeah, pretty much. To not give away the secret too much, we've given away the secret several times before, but I'll pretend it's a secret now. Yeah, yeah, it's near one of our jam spaces, Ivy Gardens Crescent.
So, what was the jam space like back then? Were you all pretty closed into each other, tight knit? It was a small room.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Our the space grew like over the years. Like our amp started very small, and as we were able to afford larger amps, they got wheeled in there. They got very carefully dragged down the steps and slammed into the basement. And we only got a new jam space once we reached the point where the cabs just got too big for the room, and we got too loud for the space. So we're like, all right. We got to move, and we now have a more kind of like well equipped, rented out rehearsal space in Hamilton in Ontario. Shout out to Hamilton. We do loads and loads of shows in Hamilton. But yeah, it took a while, but we had to gradually get bigger and bigger and louder, and then we moved on.
How did you guys eventually get into doing the vocals? Like, was it right away that Andrew wanted to do vocals, or was it like a long progression, like you guys looking at each other, like who's gonna grab the microphone, kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't super interested in doing it, and I'd say Joe was probably the most interested in doing it initially, and then because it started with just Joe and Andrew doing things, and then I joined them a little bit after they had already had a few songs together. They were already kind of like determined that they were going to do this, and I was really interested in doing that, and I already kind of had a lot to do in the band, doing bass and keys, kind of being a bassist and sometimes like a lead player. Just kind of a lot going on. Maybe one day I'll get the full Getty Lee set up and get some foot pedals going around to stomp down on. But yeah, we're all kind of doing double time. The rest of the guys are playing and singing. I'm playing two things at once. But yeah.
And what are some of the influences that you guys agree on? Because I've seen you guys talk about Caius a little bit. What are some of these other bands? Because I know that originally you guys were kind of more of into the punk thing, right? And then
Mhm.
it's kind of evolved since then. So when you guys reformed together and you took on the new name, what sort of bands were you all agreeing on?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into like all kinds of, kind of classic punk stuff, and like kind of mid '80s hardcore punk, like lots of like Black Flag and stuff like that. But really, the biggest influences on the band as it is now is a lot of like kind of underground metal sludge stuff from like the '90s and the 2000s. Like some I Hate God and some Weed Eater, some Melvins and stuff like that. But also a lot of just like classic rock and like experimental rock, like a lot of Rush, a lot of King Crimson, a lot of Yes, stuff like that. The kind of ambition that's in that, and like all the compositional scope of that, but focused with the same kind of level of heaviness and the same sludge and the same weight that the Melvins have or Weed Eater has, right? That's basically the nexus. That's kind of where we're all at right now.
You guys have quite a few music videos already. Is this always been just a super collaborative thing where you just like very DIY? Do you feel like you're always going to continue that with the music videos? Is this something that you guys all really enjoy doing together?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like, I guess I kind of direct the process and kind of loosely script things out. But my partner does a lot of like special effect makeup and prosthetic kind of work. So, our videos tend to feature a lot of gore, like fake blood flying around, giblets, ground beef standing in for human flesh, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just kind of and when you make a release in this kind of musical landscape, having a visual is like just a really important thing to have, right? And you can either do something that's like pretty typical, like we've done some pretty typical videos where we play the music and someone films you playing it, right? Or you can kind of do something more than that, do something different than that, and that's what we kind of done. We've just done it so many times now, right? So might as well just kind of put as much effort into being creative with that as you put into being creative with your music, right? So that's our approach. We'll probably keep doing it. We've made two videos now that are weird little gory short films, basically. So, and we've got this very vague through line of one to the other. So I'm imagining now that we need a final little gory music video to cap off this trilogy somehow with some copious amount of fake blood and ground beef and fake hands and ears and tongues and other things. But we'll see. We'll see how this strange little trilogy ends.
It sounds like it would be fun just to see the behind the scenes of it all and everything like that too. But I'm glad that I got a chance to talk to you specifically because I know from the Goon album, that's a squished centipede that got squished in the door. And Joe was saying how he saw it in the door and he left it there because he knew that you would want to take a picture of it.
Oh
And then you
yeah,
edited the picture and that became the cover for Goon. So is that, did you also do the cover for Death of Don Valley?
yeah. I can talk about that briefly.
You did that? All right. Well, what is this process like? Because I don't understand how you're making these pictures.
Oh yeah. I don't do a lot of like illustration. I don't like necessarily draw or paint or anything. My process is very much collage, digital collage, sometimes physical collage, but scrounging around for different materials and combining them in a certain thematic way. Uh, yeah, it's basically like for example, the Death of Don Valley cover, it's a photo of a very ancient corpse. It's the Iceman, who's discovered in the Alps. It's like 10,000, 20,000 year old corpse preserved in the ice. There's a lot of old kind of collage work from hardcore punk bands and stuff in like the 80s and 90s. That is pretty foundational, the kind of thing that I'm going for. But Death of Don Valley in particular, it's just kind of juxtaposition of a couple different things. It's like we're trying to hit at the theme of what the kind of title implies. It's kind of anthropomorphizing the environment, anthropomorphizing the river itself, the Don Valley River. But yeah, and I try to keep it try to keep it vague and not outright tell people exactly what I'm kind of going for here. But there's something in here. This is all kind of a curated look. There's some details in there. If you get a physical copy or you just kind of blow up the image, you can probably look around and find some little bits and pieces in there that you wouldn't otherwise find. And yeah, it's just all the effort that goes into making a kind of cohesive package and kind of emblazoning it with this as the visual image for what this music is, right? So that's it. When you look at that cover, that's the Death of Don Valley that you're looking at right there.
And this is a concept album, right? Is this the first time that you guys did a concept album?
Yeah, kind of. It's 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 tough to say if it's a concept album because I don't think we really went out of the way to tell people, yeah, it's a concept album. But we just kind of told people that it's about something. It's got its own themes. It's got a name that kind of unites all of this. It's not like this isn't the Wall. This isn't Tommy, right? We're like, oh, Tommy does this and that and that and this. This is kind of a collection of different stories in each of these songs that's kind of pushing together this broader theme, just about like, the degradation of the world around you, right? Ecological destruction, uh, you know, just violence, the violence of something lashing out in its kind of death throes, human beings fighting with each other, just lots of little stories, man versus man, man versus nature, that kind of thing, little tidbits here and there, and they're all kind of grouped together under this banner. And like, when you have an interpretation of like all of these different songs, and you look at the cover and you look at the title, you can then you can kind of see like, okay, this is kind of what is happening in this record as a whole. But yeah.
So you guys have toured pretty extensively over the East Coast. Now you're finally making your way over to the West Coast, and you've seen a lot of Canada along the way. And you guys have spent a lot of time in a van together. What advice would you give to any other bands out there who are starting to plan their first tour?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you got to do it. You got to figure out like, you got to look at someone else's poster. You got to see where other people are playing, and once you see that, you kind of got to map things out. You got to have some kind of vehicle that you can reliably, stuff all your stuff in. You got to be a bit of a t-shirt salesman, like touring in this kind of day and age. You're selling more than just like your performance. But yeah, you kind of just got to do it. You gotta look at how other bands are doing it, and see how that goes for them, and say, oh well, they played this venue, that venue, and that venue, and that venue. And you got to look at a big map and say, okay, we can probably drive there, and then there, and there, and then there. And then you gotta get to it. You gotta get in touch with people. You gotta get in touch with bands. You gotta talk to people about kind of what's going on in the scene, what's the best thing to do with the show here and there. But yeah, you just kind of gotta put in the legwork. And where there's a will, there's a way. You can do it. You absolutely can do it. It doesn't take much to get started. And once you've got started and you've done it once, even just like in a small way, even if you've just booked like 3 sequential shows that are like an hour or two away, then once you've done that, you've basically figured out how to get something going. And you just have to apply that at a broader scale. Like the tour that we're doing, that's like 24 shows on the poster. It says 24 shows on the poster, but what it basically is just a series of 4 shows chained together, 3 days off, 4 shows chained together, 3 days off, and just kind of rinse and repeat this kind of like weekend run structure, right? So for anyone who's in a band that wants to tour, just do it. Get in touch with people, see what other bands are doing, and just get started. Do what you can.
I should just wrap this all up. I was wanted to know what's on the horizon for you guys. What's your future plans? You're going to wrap up this tour, and then you're going to head home. And what are you guys thinking of doing next?
Yeah. Basically, once we were kind of like a run like this has been like over a year in the making. Like we've been running for ages and ages and ages, like putting the record together and getting everything booked. So after once we're done this, we're kind of just on a bit of a riding the wave a bit, just taking a bit of a break. But the grind never stops. We're doing some DIY stuff down in Ontario, around Niagara area, doing some stuff in Hamilton. There's a charity show we do almost like every other year in Hamilton that we'll be taking part in. And yeah, just kind of planning the next move, doing stuff locally, and getting ready to do something grander like this. Maybe in another year and a half. Maybe it'll be another couple years. Maybe we'll just do some Ontario touring. Maybe go out to Montreal or something. But yeah, we're most of all we're gonna be working on more material too, because we've been playing this stuff for a while now. At least a year we've been kind of playing all these songs out. So we'll see where it goes. We'll be doing a lot of local stuff, and we'll be working on a lot more material for sure.
I'm looking forward to all of it. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the Peach Pit. I've been here talking with Sebastian from the band Ivy Gardens. Their new album, Death of Dawn Valley, is out now, and you'll be able to catch them on this Thursday, October 23rd, in Kelowna at Dunenzi's, with local support from Suburban Alienation. You guys, be there, be square. Sebastian, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me, and take care of yourself.
No problem. Thanks for having me, man. Take it easy.